Let's begin with understanding this most important part of speech, and that is verbs. A verb is often described as an action word. Though that is correct, it is not a complete understanding of the word. It has got many other shades, which I am going to teach you one by one. First of all, yes, the verb is a word that expresses action. For example, Ram plays. A verb may express an action which is done to a person or an object. In the sentence, he kicks the ball, the action is being done on the ball. Another way is to express the state of being of an object. For example, broken toy does not express any action at all, but it tells us what is the state of the toy, the fact that it is broken. Let's look at some examples. The first one, he laughs. Here, the word laugh is a verb, but it tells us what a person or thing does. Second example, the glass is broken. Even though the word broken is a verb, it tells us what is done to a person or thing, or what is the state of that thing. This is a walking stick. The word walking is a verb. It tells us about the state of being of a person or thing. It tells us what a person or thing is. Second and third examples are also examples of verbs being used as adjectives, and they are also known as participles. Verb phrases. A verb may be used as a single word or in the form of a phrase. For example, the boys were playing. He has been learning French for 2 years. She will have done the work by 2 o'clock tomorrow. The words that have been highlighted are called verb phrases. Let us now understand the types of verbs. Verbs can mainly be divided into main verbs and helping verbs. Helping verbs are also known as auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are also of two types. The first one is called the primary auxiliary verb, and the second one the modal auxiliary verb. So primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. Primary auxiliaries may be used by themselves, or they can be used along with a main verb to form a verb phrase. There are three primary auxiliary verbs, that is the be form, have form and do form. The be form of verb does not express action, but it is a stative verb, means it expresses the state of being of a person or an object. Examples are be, am, is, was, are, were, being, been. They're all examples of the be form of the verb. The have form of verb expresses possession or belonging to. It can be changed to forms like have, has, had, having, according to the usage. The third primary auxiliary verb is the do form. Do form can be changed to do, does, did, and so on. The second kind of auxiliary verb is called the modal auxiliary or modals. Examples of modals are will, shall, can, could, would, may, might, should, must, ought to, need, and dare. So that was the introduction to what verbs are and the types of verbs, and the following part of my lesson will consist of a detailed explanation of each one of these verbs. Let me start with explaining the helping verb be. Be form can be conjugated in this manner. The first form of verb of be is am or is. If it is singular, am is used only with the first person, that is I. If it is a plural, then we say are. The second form of this verb is was or were if it is a plural. The third form remains the same in singular and plural states, that is, been. Let us understand the usage of this auxiliary verb be. This is used. First usage is in the formation of the continuous tenses. For example, he is sleeping. The babies are playing. Second one is to form passive voice. For example, a letter is written. I have made use of the be form of the verb, that is here, plus the past participle, that is written. The book was stolen. Was is the past form of the verb be, and stolen is the past participle. So these are the phrases which can be used to form passive voice. When I use the be form of verb along with an infinitive, when I make use of the be form followed by the infinitive, infinitive means the to plus verb form, then I can use it to indicate a plan or an arrangement. For example, she is to attend a meeting today. So in the above example, the words to attend, which follow the be form of verb, that is, indicate a plan. Another usage of be can be to indicate a command. For example, you are to see the principal immediately. This example suggests a command. Next usage, to indicate an arrangement that was made but it was not carried out. For example, the students were to have a class this morning. Now this example conveys that it was arranged but it could not take place due to some reason. It was cancelled. Now I am going to teach the next auxiliary verb, that is do. This is the way in which we conjugate the verb form do. First form, does if it is singular and do if it is plural. Second form, did if it is singular and did if it is plural also. Third form is done and it is the same in both singular and plural usages. This information will help you in making correct sentences according to the subject and verb agreement. Let us understand when the auxiliary verb do is used. First one, to form the negative and interrogative of the verbs which are in the simple present tense or in the simple past tense. If I say, she doesn't play chess, I am just saying that this is a negative sentence. She didn't play, negative, simple past tense. Does he play? I am making an interrogative sentence, simple present. Did he play is also an interrogative sentence, but it is in the past. The auxiliary verb do is used to emphasize the affirmative nature of the statement also. For example, you do look tired. So I am emphasizing the fact that the lady is looking tired. I told him not to play with fire, but he did play. The third auxiliary verb is have. Let us conjugate this helping verb. The first form of have is has in the singular form and have in the plural form. In the second form, singular as well as the plural form use had. In the third form also, the singular and plural usages both are had. The usage of have. Have is used in the formation of the perfect tenses. So whenever we form the perfect tense, we always make use of has or have or had, any one of these forms. For example, he has eaten. This is present perfect. He has been eating is present perfect continuous tense. Have to is used to indicate an obligation. For example, I have to finish my work by 5 o'clock. He had to wake up early. The above example expresses an obligation in the past. That was the end of the explanation of primary auxiliary verbs that are 3 in number. And now I will explain the modal auxiliary verbs. Modals are different from other types of verbs. They are also helping verbs, but they are free from subject-verb agreement, means they do not change their form, whether the subject is singular or it is plural. And they are also free from tenses. They remain the same despite the above mentioned reasons. What is the function of modal auxiliary? They change the shade of meaning of a sentence. Changing a modal in a sentence may not make it grammatically incorrect, but it changes the shade of meaning. For example, I say it will rain means I'm expressing a certainty that it will rain. If I say it may rain, I am not so sure, I'm expressing a probability. Let us